right?
Yeah.
Thoughts from the Trail. I'm Scott Anderson.
Good morning from the trail. I am here down at the Provo River taking a little break and continuing the Thoughts from the Trail series, still talking about happiness. And today I'm going to talk about one of the forms of my life that brings me great happiness, which is trying to learn new things. And I'm going to give an example of this based upon a book by Adam Grant titled Hidden Potential. And in his book Hidden Potential, he talks about some strategies that we can use to unleash our own hidden potential and potentially even help others do the same. I'm going to give an example here. One of the things that I've shared this a couple years ago in one of my early messages from Thoughts from the Trail was that I love to play tennis, and I used to play tennis pretty seriously, and my preference was to always play tennis with somebody who was better than me, and sometimes even much better than me, because I felt like it helped me improve my game and learn from their game. And then when I combined that with some tennis instruction from a legitimate tennis coach, I was able to make significant strides in my game. I learned a lot. And I ended up playing in a club championship, and I made it to the finals, had the guy down, 2 sets love, and I ended up losing in 5 sets. Anyhow, the losing is not the key part. The key part of that lesson was that my game improved significantly. So Adam Grant has done some research and has identified in his book Hidden Potential 11 factors that highly successful people do in their lives. Now I want to be clear, I do not believe he is suggesting that they do all 11. So it is a combination of these components that drive the success of people who are highly successful. So I'm going to share those 11 with you today. And the first one is seek discomfort. Now, you're not seeking discomfort just so you could be discomfortable. The reason you're seeking discomfort is because it takes you out of your zone. It stretches you. It makes you grow. So, for instance, in tennis, trying shots that you haven't been able to do and maybe failed on. Or at work, maybe trying to step up and take a lead in a project that maybe before you would have just sat back on. So that's an example of seeking discomfort. One of the other ones, the second one I'm going to talk about, is one of my favorites, which is setting a mistake budget. We're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. So the idea of even thinking in advance of what level of mistake you can make in whatever project you're working on. So for instance, in a tennis game, can I miss a few of my first serves, or can I miss some of my backhands that are going down the line? So that's kind of an example of making a mistake budget. Another one is asking for advice, not just feedback. So that's interesting. Instead of just saying, hey, can you give me some feedback? That's not as broad, that's not as specific as saying, I'd like some advice on what to do in this situation. It does not bind you to take the advice, but it certainly can help you learn as you're working on whatever area you're working on. The fourth area is figuring out which sources to trust. Sometimes those closest to you are not the sources you should trust as you're working on a project on yourself or at work or in some other areas. So you've got to be able to find what those sources are and then rely upon those as needed. The fifth one is striving for excellence and not perfection. I shared that kind of already, that we're not going to be perfect. We're never going to reach perfection, but we can reach excellence. And this one, the sixth one, is being your own last judge. What does that mean? Is certainly as you seek advice from others, as you look around and seeing what the environment is, at the end of the day, you're the one making the decision and judging the actions and steps and success and failures that are taking place in your life. No one else does that for you. And this one I absolutely love is turning the daily grind into a source of joy. We all have things in our daily lives, whether at work, at home, or whatever, that are sometimes tedious, sometimes boring, sometimes we just don't like to do them. So for instance, I'll use an example from home. Maybe no one likes to do the dishes. So in my family, we had a practice of trying to turn it into a game. Like as soon as we finish dinner, we say, let's see if we can't get the table cleared, all the dishes wiped down, everything put in the dishwasher, counters wiped off, and do it within 3 minutes. Well, that took something that nobody really wanted to do and made it kind of a fun challenge. And another really great offshoot was we got the stuff done in 3 minutes. So it was awesome. Another one that is really, really important is sometimes we have to back up to move forward. Just pushing through a situation sometimes is not the best answer. Taking a step back, regrouping, taking a fresh look at the environment, looking around us, developing a new plan, sometimes is the best way to move forward. And this is one of my favorites, and this is actually the main source as to why I do Thoughts from the Trail, which is teaching the things that you want to learn. I do Thoughts from the Trail not because I am an expert on any of these topics, but because these are things I am wanting to learn and be able to do better in my life. This next one is just absolutely magical, and I've had it both happen to me and I've also done it for others, which is opening doors for the undervalued and overlooked. So whether you're in a position of power or in a position of friendship, it's a great idea to look around you and see where can you lend a helping hand to someone who may not be getting the breaks, who may not be able to have the opportunities, and you may be the source of increased opportunity for that person. And then this last one is also a personal favorite, is to engage in mental time travel. And this is very consistent with notions of meditation and other practices I've discussed here on Thoughts for the Trail. But what it does is it opens your brain to the possibilities of what can be. And if you can't see what you're wanting to be or become or do, the ability to achieve it, I believe, is severely diminished. Anyhow, I hope those 11 traits are helpful for you as you think about how you can unlock your own potential, which then, of course, leads to creating a higher level of happiness in your life. I pray that we think about this today. I hope that we are blessed with insight, knowledge, and the ability to take actions consistently. And I'll see you next time on the trail.